Oh my God. What the heck? Do me a favor, take this away because it rings through my computer. Go throw it in my bedroom, would you? Yeah. Like this. Hey, sorry about that. Welcome to Thrifty Business. It's Thrifty night and we're off to a crazy awesome start. When you can set your iPhone up to ring through your computer, which is great normally, not when you're trying to do a show. Unbelievable. Hey, Thursday night, Thrifty Business, and man, do we have a crazy, special, awesome show tonight. For starters, my co-host, you know her, you love her, Debbie!
Hello!
In case you don't realize, Debbie is right there. Hey, Debbie!
Hello, Debbie!
What's going on, Debs?
Just enjoying this nice, really hot Vegas weather.
Heck yeah.
Nice, really hot.
And then I have a bonus co-host tonight. There's my girl Friday, Kim. What's happening, Kim?
Hello.
Now, Kim's not in here. She's at home in LA.
I'm going to be there soon, though.
Yep.
It's a matter of hours.
And then we have a live studio audience. Hey there. Woo! The Toach is under the desk. And we have a special guest, but before we introduce him, let's do Tiki time, shall we? Time for Jay's Tiki Talk. Each week I drink a different rum out of a different tiki mug, and I try to match it up to the guest, and there could not be a more perfect week than my boy Adrian. What's his last name?
Eustaquio.
I was hoping Debbie was going to say urine, like we were playing it before.
I was waiting for taquito.
and we are well aware Adrian's look is running slow, but he sounds good, so that's good.
All right, I'm sorry, guys.
No, hey, look, it froze on you smiling. That worked. I don't care. But there could be nothing better because not only does Adrian have his own tiki mug. Here's one. Here's a different version spinning around there, Deb. There we go.
That is very cool.
Adrian has his own rum sponsor. So I'm very impressed with his own mug and his own rum, basically.
He wins.
So
am I still frozen? Am I moving at all? Am I still frozen?
You're moving a little slow.
you're moving slow.
Your lips are moving.
So big shout out to Tanduay Rum. It's a great rum. Adrian, tell us a little bit about Tanduay.
Well, I've got a little bit of Tanduay in this glass too. If you guys can see it if I'm moving a little bit. Tanduay was established in the Philippines in 1854. And yeah, it's been around for a long time. 70 years before the first Don the Beachcomber ever existed. So they've got a bunch of different expressions there. The two expressions that come to the United States right now are a gold and a silver. And they're a great workhorse rum. So what you're looking at with the gold here is the average age for the gold is between 5 and 7 years in used bourbon barrels. And the silver, which is the clear rum, is aged between 3 and 5 years in used bourbon barrels. You can find Tanduay Rum mostly out here in Southern California at the moment. I think they're working their way across the country with their distributorship. But here in Southern California, you can get it at any Seafood City grocery store, which there's a bunch of them out here. It's a big chain. High Times Liquor or High Times Wine Cellars in Southern California, which is a popular place for people to pick up their spirits. You can also get it down at Trader Morris in San Diego. And they will soon be carried in select Bevmo stores. So
Bevmo.
Yeah. So there you go.
There we go.
Yay.
So, and I like to, on a little bit more of a somber note, not somber, yeah, somber, raise a toast since it's Memorial Day this weekend to all the men and women who have died in the line of duty to protect our country. So this raise a toast of Tanduay to them, all of them.
Cheers. Cheers.
All right, Adrian, sit back, relax, enjoy the show. We'll see you in about half an hour. Just make sure you're not picking your nose or your pants are off. Or they can't. I don't really care. All right, buddy. See you in a little bit. All right, so the way tonight's going to work is Debbie's going to do the segments with me. Kim's here for color commentary. And then the three of us will tag team interview Adrian. Debbie's here, and that's why she's co-hosting. But Kim knows Adrian, so, I thought it'd be just all fun of the whole family tonight. What the hell?
Yeah. So much fun.
All right, so let's get right to it, shall we? Oh. There we go. Scores. Time for our scores of the week. Debbie and I will share with you any little fun things that we've sold. Usually they're bolos. Be on the lookout, things that you should be hunting for whilst out thrifting.
Well, it's interesting that you said hunting because this is a Ralph Lauren hunting jacket. We got it at a thrift store, and Stephanie and her husband were with us. And I said, what the heck is this? It's got all these pockets. It's for the ammo and everything. So we got it on sale for about $12.38 with my senior discount. Thank you. And it sold very quickly, I think within a week after we listed it for $149.99. And the feedback, he's very happy with it. So that was fun.
It's a great coat.
And then you may have seen me share this just recently in our thrift haul. It already sold for $19.99. We paid 99 cents for it. I know I should have sold it for more. But what's interesting about this is when Bill did the research, he saw them going for about $9.99. And I said, I'm not selling this hat for $9.99. So we bumped the price up and bam, it sold. So just because you look at sold and you see low prices, that doesn't mean anything necessarily. The person that sold it was probably happy to get $9.99. Not me. I want more money.
Wasn't that hat the one that reminded you of Bill's dad?
Yes, exactly. So it sold very quickly.
Yay.
And this is something from my profit piles. This is a binder full of 161 patterns. So each pattern can come out, their piece of paper or their cardstock that comes out. And I paid $1.99, I think like 8 years ago, maybe. And look how
has it been listed?
Wow.
No, I bought it.
I'm about to have a heart attack.
Did you just find it?
I bought it 8 years ago. It's been in my profit pile, and look how much it's appreciated from $1.99 $69.97. Score! So that was a fun find. And this International Standard Bible Encyclopedia set of 4 sold for $99.99. It's a consignment sale for a client that I have. And that also sold very quickly. So books are great, still great sellers, especially these. I've been coming across several other Bible encyclopedia, Bible reference types books, even older editions seem to do well, which surprises me in this day and age with the internet and iPads. Who needs a book? But they still buy them. Yes, they look good.
All right, so each week I got to share with you one of my CD scores. Of course, I bought this Venture CD for $9.99. Sold it for $35 in about 3 weeks on Amazon, plus shipping. And your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. This is a vintage shirt made in the USA. It says Web Slinger on the back. I did have it on sale. I was hoping for about 50. I got 40. I only paid $5 at a flea market, so I was happy. And this is the kind of thing where there's so many Spider-Man shirts, you got to find the good ones. A made in the USA that says Web Slinger across the back, and it's a front and back like this. That's a badass shirt. So those are the kind of things you want to gravitate towards. This always sells very well. Jim Henson's a storyteller, Greek myths. Jim Henson did a whole bunch of stuff that you probably never heard of. In case you don't know who Jim Henson is, he created the Muppets, Sesame Street, Miss Piggy. So he did Greek myths and a few other things. It can come in a box set. But I actually thrifted this with Chris about 7 years ago. Chris Green, that is. And I finally listed it last week, and I paid $1, and it sold like that for $21. So,
see.
However, that takes up a lot less space in your big binder.
Oh, it did. But if it,
Now, this was essentially trash laying around my house. And I don't mean in the truest sense, but these were freebies that we would get at the record store. So this was a Blink 182 Mobile, a Blink 182 plush rabbit, and 3 Blink 182 pins. And they were just, crap that showed up at the record store, and I put them together for $200, and they sold.
Wow.
Yeah, snap.
I'll snap for you.
Thank you. Just like that for $200 going to Canada. Oh, Canada. And last but not least, my Pendleton cardigan sweater. I paid $5.99 for it, and it sold for about $67. Somebody who wanted to pretend they were Mr. Rogers probably bought that. All right, you've seen our scores now. It's time for our duds of the week. Do not let our mistakes be yours. Duds of the week is brought to you by WorthPoint. If we had used WorthPoint, Debbie and I would not have these duds.
Okay.
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 Remember that I showed this before as I considered it a dud because I had it for $39. I took an offer of $20. Well, guess what? It came back. She didn't say why. She just returned it, so it's a double dud. I don't know. I've had this.
What's up with this?
So funny.
No letters are capitalized. What the heck?
That's how long it's been listed.
She looks like she has one of those nose strips on instead of glasses.
Well, sometimes
It does look like a nose strip. He's right.
maybe that's it. I'm going to redo this whole listing and I'm going to sell it for $90.
You go, girl. Hell yeah.
Yes, you do.
And this was on a 30% off sale. One day I decided I need some money. So I did a nice 30% off sale and we did pretty good. So this sold for $12.59 with free shipping. And I think I paid $3 for it. So you do the math. There wasn't very much money there. And it's a small. So
I bought this toast marker. So you press it on the toast and then Bugs Bunny's running on your toast. Problem is, I bought a ton of them, and I still got a couple left, and I'm only getting $8 with free shipping.
Bill wants one.
All right, Bill, you can have one.
$10.
Just remind me to edit it. And then the other duds in my hand. I always tell you, Pink Floyd shirts when I'm teaching classes are licensed everywhere. You can get Pink Floyd T-shirts at Target, at Walmart. So I don't really gravitate to them anymore. But I found this Pink Floyd Dark Side of the Moon button down, and guess what? It's a dud. I didn't look it up, but I'm like,
you were so excited.
yeah. So if anyone's a Pink Floyd fan, size large, I will cut you a sweet ass deal. Hit me up on Facebook. I'm not even going to bother listing it. And I paid $5 for it.
Glenn Zubia, you wear those shirts that are all over
Give it
print.
away on Sunday.
Maybe you like that.
All right. Seen our scores. You've seen our duds. Now it's time for. Where in the world did our shit go? You should be selling internationally. Kim, Debbie, and I do. I think Adrian does too. We'll find out. If you're not, you are leaving 7 billion potential customers out in the cold. So each week we profile something that went someplace fun.
Okay, my Hawaiian shirt here went to a tiny little town in British Columbia. And I think we paid like $6 for this. How much did that sell for? I don't remember. I'm a senior. I'm turning 60 on Sunday, and I can't remember everything.
Show us again.
Playing the age card already.
Can you see?
Happy birthday.
That's so great.
So even British Columbia needs Hawaiian shirts.
Yeah, and it's a very, very small town.
And New South Wales needs Levi's silver tab carpenter jeans because that's where these went off to this morning. I paid $4.80 and they paid me $48 plus shipping.
Is that 10 times?
That is 10 times.
Good.
All right. Seen our scores, seen our duds. You've seen Where in the World. Now it's time for Close Encounters of the Thrifty kind. Now this week is my close encounter is because of Debbie. Debbie last week said, "Hey Jay, I want to do a thrift haul," and I didn't have anything, so I'm like, all right, I have to go thrifting. We were supposed to be going to Home Depot to buy some stuff to put up new shelves for Tiki mugs. I took a left and went to Goodwill, and in Goodwill, I met this lovely couple, Ray and Jennifer, and I was in the jeans section, and Ray walked up to me, and he talked like this. Thank you. And I'm like, I'm sorry, what? So I wasn't sure what he wanted to talk about because he was whispering so quiet. And he said, "Hey, I just wanted to thank you for your 36 mistakes eBayers make webinar he did a couple of weeks ago. My wife and I, right here, Jennifer, realized the mistakes we were making. We made some changes and saw instant sales and success based on your thing." So had Debbie not said, "Let's do a thrift haul," I wouldn't have been at that thrift store. I would have met this great couple, Ray and Jennifer. So, hey, Ray and Jennifer. Hey.
That's so cool.
So, yeah, he was just kind of shy and whispering to me, but he whispered so low. I was like, he could have been saying, "Give me all your money." I couldn't hear anything. So, yeah, they're a great couple. They live here in Vegas. They just moved in from Hawaii, and they're on the thrifting board, and they're maybe watching tonight. They didn't know I was going to do this. So, hey, guys, if you're watching.
Bye.
So, thanks, Deb.
Aloha. Anytime. That's what I'm here for.
All right, now it's time for You have got to be shipping, where Debbie and I will give you tips and tricks what to do and what not to do when it comes to shipping.
Oh, right. Most of you probably know about all the free shipping supplies you can get from USPS.com website, but I just kind of wanted to talk about it a little bit more. There's new people and some people don't know. There's a shoebox size, which is priority. There's 6, and I didn't know this, 6 different size of regular priority boxes. So these are not flat rate, they're regular. So instead of using my own boxes, I can be using these boxes. There's 2 versions of the flat rate medium and also 2 of the large flat rate. And my favorite is the game box. You've probably heard me talk about game board box. I can fit a whole set of books in that long box that I can't fit in the regular large flat rate. So stock all of these. 2 versions of the regional A's and B's. We use a lot of those. There's also small and medium tubes. You can see those in the pictures. The medium size, we've shipped baseball bats and rolls of wallpaper in those. So we keep those on hand. There's also, of course, our beloved flat rate padded envelopes. And then there's stickers. There's priority stickers. So if I use my own box and it's priority, I put those stickers on just to kind of help speed it along, help our postal clerks. And then there's also one that's heavy, morning heavy, 35 pounds, because sometimes my books weigh over 35 pounds. So it's a courtesy for me to put that on so that anybody going to lift that box won't break their back. There's also express and international packages. These are free and they're shipped to your home. And they usually take about 10 days to 2 weeks to get. So as we get closer to Christmas, can you believe we're almost
Excuse me.
So as we get closer to Christmas, especially around October, whenever you want to start stocking up because they get backlogged and it takes longer to get the packages. And then on mobile, when you're on your mobile phone to look for these, you want to scroll all the way to the bottom and click see full site. I usually order on my laptop, but if you're on your mobile and you're not going to see all of these, you want to find the full site and go through there for your shipping supplies. And of course, as we know, we get free ones from eBay when we have stores.
Good tip. All right. So mine, unfortunately, is a what not to do today. Even though the product got here fine, it's a miracle. It's a miracle. Okay. Tiki mug. Box it came in. Yeah. There's not a lot of room for padding in this box. And although you see some bubble and some foam sticking out, are you ready to see what the actual padding was in this box? Yep, the finest lined paper money can buy.
Must have been a college student.
That is not. This is not acceptable packing material. Your kid's homework book is not acceptable packing material, especially when it don't even barely fit. Oops.
Oh my God.
I'm going to show my address. It don't even barely fit in here.
That's a double boxing job. That should be in there and then inside
Yeah.
the other box.
So
But it made it. No
it
sweat.
made it.
Right.
So I know I'll get grief. Hey, it made it. Why are you complaining? I'm just saying it's a miracle it made it. So it could be better. This is not cushioning.
Right. That's not how it is.
Where's Bill at? Okay, cool. There we go.
Uh-oh, look out, incoming.
All right, now it's time for our thrifty tip of the week, brought to you by Stamps.com. Postage on demand. Bring your own postage or shipping labels. Print your own. Hey, Tanduay Rum is
I was
fun.
gonna say,
Print your own
what's
postage
that?
or shipping labels in seconds. Bring them.
Adrian.
Bring them.
Oh my.
Okay. If you have a Savers, when we donate, we get these punch cards. So I get 30% off. Well, guess who leaves them sitting at home on her kitchen counter? So from now on, my tip is leave it in your glove box. I don't usually carry a purse, so I need to leave them in the glove box because I went in Savers and spent, I think, $40. Some things were on sale, half off because of the right color, but my coupons were sitting at home. So now they stay in my car. So all those great discounts, any kind of coupons you get, even our Burger King coupons stay in the glove box. You never know. Yes.
All right, so if you follow me on Instagram, and if not, you should, Tiki Pug on Instagram or my Facebook page, you saw me post this picture. And what this picture is, all the Frankie's Tiki Room mugs over the last 8.5 years, and all my coconut tiki mugs. But how is this a thrifty tip, you ask? Well, this shelf, hey chatties, I'm trying to, you realize I'm hosting a show, right? mean, what the hell? The Bill, Stephanie, Debbie show is happening off the side here.
Is that new in your house?
This shelf was at an estate sale full of Amazon. My God,
Oh, that Tanduay Rum.
that Tanduay Rum's the shit, man. I tell you, full of Avon collectible bottles, and I'm looking at the shelf, going, "Hey, yo, you want to shelf this shelf?" And they're like, "We weren't thinking about it." I'm like, "I want it." Well, there's bottles on it. Oh, I can move them. Well, it's hooked to the wall. I have a screwdriver. Okay, $45. So my tip is look beyond what they're trying to sell you, especially at estate sales, because for the most part, they want to clean the place out. And this is a kick-ass shelving unit right here. Because of the different sizes, the nooks and crannies, it's a great shelving unit. So always look beyond the norm, because all they can say is no. But in this case, they said, move the thing, get a screwdriver, you can have it, $45.
And if I remember, they had it horizontally, didn't they?
Yeah, I think they did have it
Yeah,
horizontally.
So, it was even,
So I was already figuring out that, if I tip it this way, coconuts and Frankie's mugs will fit perfectly.
Perfect. It looks so nice in the house.
And great Ag 1602. Wow, Vegas doesn't have earthquakes, do they? Nope.
That's the first thing I say every time I come in because we live in California.
Yeah.
All right, so now it's time for our eBay tip of the week. I saw a question come in. I forgot that I was in the middle of doing a segment. I swear this is my only drink so far. I don't know what's going on. It's like, woo, Adrian's on. Yeah.
yeah, there's something.
Yeah, so the question was, did I buy the Tikis on the shelf? Yep, I bought them all. I'm not exactly sure what the alternative would be. Stealing them, I guess.
Or maybe did you?
Maybe gifts.
Well, the question was buy them. Well, yeah, they're all, every mug's been, well,
Maybe what
okay,
they meant was
some
you
were
didn't
gifts, but yes, I did buy them all. All right, so
You
our
didn't
eBay,
steal them.
no, I did not steal them. Our eBay tips of the week are little tips and tricks to help you on your eBay journey to hopefully sell your items better and for more money.
Okay, product recall.
Okay.
eBay does not allow items that are recalled to be sold. It is actually illegal. And I believe in the state of California where I live, you can't even sell a used baby car seat at a garage sale or a thrift
You
store.
can't.
Because good, thank you. It's illegal. So you always want to check, especially items like, especially baby items, children's clothing, because sometimes they don't have the fire safety stuff that they do on them.
Mhm.
Appliances, electronics, things you plug in. And it's surprising, it doesn't have to be an old thing. It could be something that was just on the market not too long ago. So eBay has a page. It's called eBay Recall Items Policy page. Google is your friend.
Say that one quick.
Graphic.
I know.
See, I guess we got to talk a little more, producer, before we do a live show. Say it again.
Hey,
Say it
well,
again.
okay. eBay Recall Items Policy. So just Google that and the page would come up.
Jason, you talk to your producer.
I
Hey,
know.
hey. Okay, here's another one for you. Try this one. www.recalls.gov. That's a good site to go to. And also cpsc.gov. So it's up to us as the sellers to be aware of what we're listing. And if there could be a recall on it, eBay will take your listing down. I'm not sure if you'll get a violation for that, like you would, with Vero items, but just please be aware, because you don't want to sell something. I know there's a old vintage coffee pot,
The handle
stainless
breaks
steel.
off.
Oh, is
Yeah.
that what it is? Yeah.
I listened to ones and got pulled, and people complain when their stuff gets pulled. They're like, well, I didn't know it was on recall. Ignorance of the law is not ever a defense. So
That's right.
if you're going to sell products, even if you don't think it could ever be recalled for any reason, you should check. We all don't,
Right.
but the resources are there for you to check. So make sure you're checking.
So that's what I wanted to do, was just send out a reminder, because electronics, even fitness equipment, and we all know about the lawn darts, the metal ones, don't want to sell those. Jarts.
All right. So my little tip of the week is don't sweat returns. I sold this kick-ass camo evening gown once, and it didn't fit right. So she sent it back. And hey, you know what? When you're and this was a homemade dress. And so when you're buying something like that, even though the measurements are in, girls, it might not just fit the way you want to. So it came back, sold it again, same price, $35. And look at the feedback I got. Beautiful, just as described. I should have said, hey, send me a picture. I'll put you on my show. Because that's a unique item. But I didn't sweat that I got a return. A woman bought a dress. It didn't fit her. I don't want her to keep it. I'll take it back. And I sold it again. And the woman who got it this time, well, I guess it's a woman. Could be a dude. But whoever got it this time loves it. And so that makes me excited that the person who actually got it now.
It's a female hunter that bought it, probably.
Could be.
She's going out hunting. We're in that direction. Really?
All right, now it's time for the good, the rad, and the ugly. I can't believe I left this lamp behind. I took a picture and forgot to buy it. Whoops. All right, Debbie doesn't have anything ugly this week, but a good thing is I had 2 ugly things. You should look for the ugliest thing, because when you see what I sold this week, you'll be like, I would have never picked that up. First one, look at this badass puffy jacket. And what is unique about it, I wish I still had it here. The overlay of the playing cards, it's like a kind of faux built-in vest over the jacket. Yeah, it's horrible. But hey,
cool.
Someone paid $20 and shipping, and they're happy.
Whoever bought it, I think it's cool.
But even better, look at this badass 1980s shirt. I would say early 90s. I would so see Zach Morris wearing this on Saved by the Bell.
Yeah.
See? Am I right?
Yes.
I paid $3 and it sold for $46.
It's
and
cool.
I don't think Aero Brigade is a brand that people look for, but this image, this look, it sold. And
That's
so
a great price,
Yep.
too.
all right, before we get to today's guest, here is next week's guest, and Debbie's going to tell you all about her.
She.
Oh,
You put me on the spot. You didn't tell me.
I put you on the spot. You're the producer who booked her.
Okay. She came
do you
out.
want to take over?
Yes, I do. Go right
All
ahead.
right, Kim, you're up.
Her name is Barbara Boshin, and she co-founded it's called Co-Merchant. And what she does is sell and teaches people how to sell their Amazon products on various platforms like Walmart and Jet.
Yes, exactly.
Did you know you could sell on Walmart and Jet, everybody? I bet a lot of you didn't know that. So that's what we're going to talk about. So good job, Debbie.
Hey, I just
Teamwork.
Hey, that was great teamwork. Producer go Friday together. I love it.
yeah, it's going to be exciting to have her on because this is
Yeah.
different. You know, she's not necessarily talking about selling on eBay. She's going to expand us on beyond and show us other platforms and how to do it, making it easy. I love it when people come up with ways to make it easy for us to list on other platforms or whatever we need to do.
And I had my things a little out of segment, so I will find the sound effect in a second.
I can sing.
No. Oh, there we go. Time for I just went through puberty right there. Time for our viewer tip of the week. What is happening tonight? So those of you watching live, hello. I love all of you. Please do us a favor. Go give us a thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Those of you who watch after the fact, I love you just as much too. And if you watch after the fact, drop a little note down below in the comments. And we love to share your tips and tricks with the audience. So Tara wrote, hi, Jason. I love watching your videos. I wanted to give you a tip about any unsold Halloween costumes. As long as they are kids' costumes, you can rework most of the titles post-Halloween to include cosplay, reenactment, etc. I have sold several costumes this way, just reworking the keywords.
Great.
2 items left. One is definitely a cosplay Comic-Con type item, and the other is a vintage one, so it will sell eventually. So for those of you who don't know what cosplay is, that is adults who dress up as characters and run around and fight each other. I will keep my comments to myself.
And it's not just play fighting. You know, they do. I know a gal. I met a gal in line at Disneyland, and she makes her own costumes. She does phenomenal.
So what is her version of cosplay?
Snow White, Cinderella.
Well, right, but what is she? When does she do it? What is she doing?
They go to events, and I don't know. I don't think they're fighting in those gorgeous costumes. So
no, but usually cosplays you're acting out stuff.
right,
you know,
acting
that's
out.
what
Yeah,
cosplay
yeah,
usually
I'm
is,
sure.
so.
And they, I don't know. It's her costumes are phenomenal. So that is a super great tip.
Cool. And so please, if you watch after the fact, please pop in the tips down below, and we'll be happy to share them. All right, let's get our guest in here. Boom, shaboom, shawow.
And yes, I am going to be 60 on Sunday. I would show you my driver's license. Oh, wait a minute. I have it right here.
Ladies and gentlemen, our guest is Adrian.
Aloha.
Eustaquio, and I'm going to, I don't ever just read the straight up bio, but I'm going to do it this time. So, aloha, Adrian, but let me read your bio. Adrian is the host and producer of Inside the Desert Oasis Room, a podcast recorded from his home tiki bar, which is here. I'll put him on the big screen. Hold on a second. Which is right behind him here. He also currently runs the Home Tiki Bars and Desert Oasis Room group pages on Facebook. Adrian is a longtime tiki enthusiast, active member in the tiki community, and avid supporter of the current tiki revival, which who began collecting tiki, Hawaiian, and South Pacific ephemera over 2 decades ago. His Desert Oasis Room was created in tribute to and in the style of the great exotic lounges of long past Polynesian pop era, which houses a stunning collection of over 1,000 mugs and dozens of one-of-a-kind carvings from various artists, including a comprehensive grouping of traditional Hawaiian, Cook Islands, and Papua New Guinea art. Hey, Adrian.
Aloha.
Hey, Adrian.
Hello, everybody. Thanks for having me on the show.
What's happening, buddy?
Not a whole lot,
right.
but yeah, a whole lot at the same time.
Oh, I know that. All right, so before we get any further,
Yeah,
the picture we use of you are drinking out of a mug. Now, who made that mug, that pineapple mug?
that's a Tiki Tony mug.
So you probably haven't seen this yet, Adrian, but I showed this on a thrift haul this past week. I thrifted this the other day. You know the brand Made in Hawaii that makes a lot of Hawaiian shirts and muumuus?
Yes.
Well, apparently at some point, they made a plush.
Oh, wow.
And
That's
so
almost
there's
identical
the
to the
Made
mug.
in Hawaii label.
Yeah.
Like Tiki Tony's mug almost.
I wonder if that's the inspiration for the mug.
Look at that. I've never seen it before, but that was $1.50 at the thrift store.
But you know, that's the same face that Punchy makes. The guy from Hawaiian Punch.
Yes, it is.
Oh, that's
Right?
right. Yes.
Right?
So if someone's like, oh, it's like the little artwork you did for Adrian. I'm like, yeah, you're right. It is. So Adrian, why don't you give us, so we gave us your current bio, but what I've been teasing people with, you had a corporate job. You then didn't have a corporate job. And so you thought, I'm going to do what I want to do. And I want to do, well, you initially set out to do a YouTube show, but it turned into a podcast.
Yes.
So why don't you tell us kind of, what you were doing corporately and then, that progression.
So I was an engineer at my corporate job. I was a telecom engineer, and I used to design and build call centers. And I did that for 16 or 17 years. So I did that for a long time, made a very good living doing that. And then suddenly in the spring of 2016, I was laid off. And, the thing is, for a long time, I was already disillusioned with that. I was seeing people striking out on their own and really being their own boss and earning their own living. And I just kind of felt like my cubicle was a little jail cell that I drove to every day. And so the timing, when you go through a layoff, it's not something that you expect or want, but the timing was, for me, I happened to be in a financial position where I could try something different. And for a few months, I just kind of, went through my honey-do list and did all the stuff in the house that I'd been putting off. And after all that stuff was done, I thought, okay, what's next? And this whole eBay thing I've been wanting to do for a long, long time. I've spoken about this with Jason and Kim before. I wish I was as knowledgeable as they were. Now was a good time to start. I also started a passion project, which was a podcast, and never really expected anything to grow from that. I just wanted to scratch an itch, and so my thought was, I was motivated by the Jerry Seinfeld show, Comedians in Cars Getting Coffee. And it's something that I find very entertaining. I like to watch that show. I just kind of thought, these guys go to these coffee shops and they have these really informal conversations. I thought it would kind of be more fun to see that happen with people when they're sitting in a tiki bar. Because, sometimes the most spirited conversation we have is over a couple of drinks. And when I started to think about how I could make that happen, because, I know a lot of the tiki bar owners, the logistics was still a little bit of a nightmare, having to schedule when it was okay for me to go in there and do some kind of a web show. and scheduling guests to line up with all of that too. And I thought, you know what, I've got a tiki bar at home, so I'm going to do it from my home bar. I don't need to worry about trying to schedule logistics with my home bar or get permission from the owner of my home bar is me. And Inside the Desert Oasis Room was born, and that's why it's called Inside the Desert Oasis Room. The show is not really, like most of my friends are tiki people and cocktail enthusiasts, and that's why that's kind of the theme that we've got going. But it's really open to anybody that is interesting, right? I've had magicians on the show, I've had band members on the show, I've had authors on the show, as long as they're interesting.
Yeah, reality TV stars on the show twice.
I've had yes.
Don't get
Very loud.
Episode 38 and 46, everyone. Go check it out.
Oh my gosh. That's what I love about your show, is that it's just like you're sitting down having a conversation.
Yeah, the idea is that you're eavesdropping in a conversation. Although there are times when I will interview somebody because I just don't really know them. They're interesting to me as an entertainer or whatever it is that they do. And it's just my way of attempting to get to know them. I will interview them, but I also try to do that in more of a conversational format because interviews can be boring, so it's kind of fun to watch people, it's eavesdropping, right?
Or as we know, we can ruin a podcast too.
Oh yeah. Well,
we were a little loud that day.
I've been lucky, and the thing is, what I find interesting is the episodes that I really love. Maybe some people think they're boring, and the ones that I think, that one was kind of dry to me, people say, wow, what a great episode that was. That person was really interesting. So everybody has different tastes. So, I just put out what I have and let it go from there.
Well, Adrian, I love it.
What I took from that is Adrian puts out.
Yes.
All right.
Every
What's
week.
in his Tanduay Rum tonight? What do you think might be spiked with? Because I don't know.
All right,
and you're on the first one, right?
Yeah. People have questions about the difference between a podcast and YouTube. Okay, right now you're watching me on YouTube. It's a YouTube show. You see me. Now, anyone who's watching, close your eyes. Now, keep listening to us talk. That's a podcast. There are no visuals in a podcast. You download the podcast typically to your phone, and you can listen to it. Like I listen to Adrian is my podcast of choice when I'm thrifting. So Adrian's in my head when I'm not thrifting with friends. When I'm by myself, I listen to Adrian because also Adrian interviews a lot of my friends. So what I always say about Adrian's podcast is it's like you've wandered into a conversation already happening, and instead of being a part of it, you just kind of listen to the stories being told.
There you go.
And
now, I did start trying to do it as a YouTube show, but my room is so small. I know it doesn't look that small in the video, but it's smaller than it looks. And I couldn't figure out a way to do the cameras without, lights and cameras showing up across from each other. So since I had the first guests already scheduled, I thought, you know what, I'm just going to record this in audio and I'll figure out the video along the way. And once I figure it out, I'll move everything to video. And I just never did because the podcast took off as an audio show. And what's great is, people like Jason said, they can listen to it while they're mowing the lawn. They can listen to it on a treadmill. They can listen to it while they're vacuuming the house. They don't actually have to sit down and devote time to it, which I think it has helped the show grow. And, when Jason says things like he listens to it while he's thrifting, that's really, that is an honor to me. I find that really touching because, I have a friend and I'm going to call him out. His name is John Coyle. He's a really good guy. He is a ship's engineer, so he actually happens to be out in the Pacific Ocean right now, and he'll be out there for months at a time.
Hey, John.
And yeah, he's a good guy. And one of the things that he's said to me, which I found, such an honor, is he said, what I like to do is I like to download a bunch of your episodes and play them in my stateroom or in his office, actually. And he says, I'm in and out of my office all day long, but when I'm in the middle of the ocean and I walk into my office and I hear my friends chatting, I don't feel like I'm so alone anymore, And I thought, oh, that's awesome. And he doesn't actually listen to what we're talking about. He just likes this, hearing his friends in the background.
The comfort.
Yeah, he just doesn't feel like he's by himself out in the middle of nowhere.
What I think is funny is you have a podcast, but yet people come up to you and they recognize you.
Yeah, that's funny to me too.
It's like
Well, I'm always pimping my brand, you know. So.
So someone's asking where the link is, and hey, if you just look, take your head and do this. It's right down in the description. So look down the description for this show, right underneath the show.
There you go.
I've got the link, and just to show you the website, here's what you'll see when you go to the website. That is a great picture, and you can see Adrian's mugs down below there, all displayed with these lit shelving. It's a great, gorgeous bar. So that's the website. Then if you want to join the Facebook page, we'll see that in a minute. If you want to join the Facebook page, it's very easy, inside the Desert Oasis room. And then if you're building a tiki bar, and you cannot do anything but discuss building a tiki bar in his other group, that is Home Tiki Bar Build. So don't show up and think you're going to post a fun picture like I did, because the admin he has running it will slap your hand and knock your post out.
There you go. Some of them are friendlier than others. So.
Very specific. Now, you think Adrian's home bar is amazing. Look at this home bar. Yes, this is a home bar. Now, whose bar is this, Adrian?
So that's Jordan Reichert, and he is, I don't know if he wants me to say, but he's in the entertainment industry. Let's just say that. He actually owns a lot of historic pieces. A lot of those pieces have, like a genealogy to them. Some of them are from Trader Vic's. Some of them are from the Kon-Tiki. They're all vintage, and they've all, have some kind of pedigree from that. He recently had an auction of all of his overflow from his collection, just because the room wasn't big enough to house everything. And all of those tikis were put in an art show and in a book entitled The Art of Tiki, which was written by Sven Kirsten and Otto von Stroheim. And they had a gallery showing of that overflow, and all of those art pieces sold as well. So again, they all have a pedigree. They're all vintage. They're all not created for decor. They all came from somewhere that has a historical value.
It's really pretty. Wow.
Yeah, that's houses in Glendale.
Great.
Yeah.
It's where?
It's in Glendale, California.
Oh, all the good people live in California. So, Adrian, how many subscribers do you have? How many, do you know your stats? How many people listen to your podcast or subscribe to it?
So I've got an estimation of somewhere around 10,000 subscribers.
Wow, congratulations.
Thank you. It streams in over 100 countries, which is really neat to me when I look at the stats and I see there's someone listening to it in Sao Paulo, and someone listening to it in Bangladesh, and someone listening to it in Madrid, and it's a place all over the world. But that's the power of the internet. Now,
how do you choose your guests? How do you find just friends or acquaintances?
Friends of friends. Someone might say, "Oh, I know a guy who, he collects World War II memorabilia, and he's got all these stories that you might find fascinating." Wow. I'd love to sit down and talk with him. And here's the thing. That's a great question. My criteria is not really that strict. The thing is, a lot of people say, when I ask them to be on the show, they'll say, "Well, I'm not really that interesting. You probably, would get bored talking to me." And to be honest with you, everyone's interesting. Yes. I mean, we all live a life that is very dynamic and full of stories that someone will relate to. Maybe they think that they're boring, but there's someone out there that will connect with whatever it is that they're saying. And so, again, my criteria is not really that strict, because I've found that every person that I've talked to has a story to tell.
What's so awesome is it's like you're like the World War II guy. You're recording history. I mean, once you get these conversations, they're there. You'll have them forever. So maybe they're future, grandkids or whatever down the road. So that's just very interesting to me.
Yeah, we have some guys that we've had on the show that, like, for example, the guys at Oceanic Arts, Leroy Schmaltz and Bob Van Oosting. And these guys have built just about everything in the vintage tiki world, right? They used to build sets for Gilligan's Island and Fantasy Island, and they built a lot of the old restaurants that are long gone. And these guys are in their 80s now. They've always had intentions of writing a book and recording all of these things that, all the stories that they have from the decades of doing what they do, and they never have. And so I had them on the show. They told a bunch of stories, and, they're not going to be here forever. And once they're gone, those stories would have gone with them, because there's nowhere else where they recorded that.
I say cheers to
That's what's so great.
Yeah,
Is
yeah,
that it's a piece of history, and how wonderful to keep it preserved.
yeah. So, and it's fun. I mean, when we sit down and do that, yeah, I like to record at least an hour because that's really, you can't really get in my opinion, like a really deep conversation going until you've been, sitting for at least 30 minutes, right? So I like to record for
a few cocktails. That
I
helps.
was gonna say, and some
Yeah.
Tanduay,
Yeah, because I totally forget. I keep telling everybody to go to 38 and 46, but I forgot Kim and I are on one. I don't know what number that is.
Yeah.
I
Because
don't know if we're on it. Are we on it? I thought we
yeah,
were.
Yeah, we recorded that one at the Rincon room.
Oh, I know.
so he had to work overtime to piece a show together
Yeah.
that's a hot mess of drunken friends.
Sometime.
Oh yeah. That was the
Yeah,
night I
man.
drove Jason's truck.
Oh, did you?
Jason was
Jason was beyond wee.
You're allowed to do that. So how many?
He didn't have a choice.
How many podcasts do you have to date? How many do you have in the can?
So I have about right now I've got number 85 out there, but I do have probably 5 more recorded that haven't been released yet.
Nice.
How often do you do them?
Well, I like to release them once a week, but I record them as whenever I can. So there are some weeks where I'll record 3 episodes, and sometimes a month will go by where I haven't recorded one, but I haven't missed a week yet since I started. So,
Well, it's awesome. Everyone should be listening to it. It's so great.
Thank you. I appreciate the kind words.
So I have a question for our viewers. If people are listening to your podcast, could they possibly pick up some bolo tipping, thrifting ideas of things, you talk about different things? Is there, possibility that they'll be like, oh, I need to start looking for that item?
Yes. So there is a lot of Tiki talk on the podcast,
but not all. I mean, it's not 100% Tiki talk. Right?
Yeah.
So,
So bolos, yeah, like people talk about their collections a lot, but I will tell you this, with the Tiki community, they're very competitive. So they don't like to always share their bolos, right? So they might find something, and that's because what they want to do is they want to throw up their finds on eBay, right? They don't necessarily want to share the love. They want to make a little bit
Make
of
some money.
right?
So could they tell us about them after they've sold them, please?
No, that's why I get a lot of anger and hate, and I will coming up at Tiki Oasis, because I teach everybody what they'll find, what they'll look for, and that angers everyone. So I rock the boat.
But to answer your question, Debbie, like for example, they may talk about a new mug that comes out at Trader Sam's and people lining up for it at 4 or 5 in the morning. And you already know right off the bat that's a hot item because people are lining up for it. Not everybody can be at Trader Sam's in Anaheim, California at 5 in the morning. You have maybe somebody that lives in Las Vegas or lives in Denver or lives in Miami, or name the city and state outside of Anaheim, California. And they'll pay the extra for it because it's cheaper than flying over there to get it, right? And so right off the bat, you already know, that's something that has some value.
And that's where our international buyers come in too, because
Sure.
I think we've shipped some Tiki mugs out of the country, Australia and Canada, because we do that. I love to go to Trader Sam's or, the different Tiki bars around. As Jason teaches us, drink for free.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So let's do a bonus. Oh, my speaker turned itself off. There's the only thing I don't like about Bluetooth speakers is they turn themselves off. So when you go to play a sound effect, there's no sound effect. Let's try it again. Ready? Time for a bonus close encounters of the thrifty kind. So, cut to about 15, 16 years ago. Stacy and I go to a Tiki event. We have just found the Tiki scene. We know no one. We go to the event, and we really talk to nobody. We don't really make any friends yet. And the reason Adrian knows me, and basically the whole Tiki world knows me, is because an old lady punched me in the face.
Whoa.
So
with a beach ball.
All right, yeah, hang on, I got the picture. So at this event, friends of ours got married, and so instead of throwing rice, friends of ours now, they threw beach balls, and so that whole time beach balls were bouncing around. And then that night, the bands played, and the bands are set up on a stage, and we're on a lawn in a little tiny 2-story motor lodge. And this older couple was drunk, sitting on lawn chairs in the middle of the lawn. And every time a beach ball bounced off their head, they were so drunk, they would grab the beach ball and hide it under their chair. Well, they're sitting in the middle of the lawn, so they're under their chairs in the middle of the lawn. And so I would grab each ball, like they were so drunk, they put 52 balls under their chair, and there was always room for another one. So I would throw the balls all back out into play. Well, they started popping them, and she caught me taking the balls out from underneath. And so here's the picture that captured it. Here's the lady punching me in the face with a deflated beach ball.
Oh my! She started deflating them. Did you say that part?
Yes.
She actually started deflating them.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so she punched me in the face a few times to the point where now I know this is a crappy photo. I scanned a picture of a printed out picture from 20 years ago. But I grabbed her wrist at one point and go, look, I ain't never hit an old lady in the face, but if you punch me one more time, I'm probably going to hit you. So she hit me like 4 times. And then the following week in our Tiki, not at Facebook, but in our Tiki website, someone said, who was the guy that got beat up by the old lady? And I had to go, yeah, that was me. So that's when Adrian, yeah, Adrian.
Well, the way that we met was I was sitting behind Jason on the lawn. And when she started hitting him over the head with that beach ball, Jason was sitting on a lawn chair, and then he stood up, and I just saw, like, you know, Godzilla stand up. I thought, holy moly! That lady did. I mean, she's got some, you know, cojones to do that, right? And I didn't know Jason or Stacy yet. They were sitting directly in front of me, so I saw the whole thing happening. I was laughing along with them when he was pulling them out and throwing them back into the air.
All right, Adrian, you are so froze. We can't even see you when I click on you right now. So,
oh, really? Okay, I'm
sorry.
sorry.
What I'm going to have you do, Adrian, I'm going to have you refresh.
Okay.
And I'll tell another story, and then hopefully you'll be back. All right?
Okay. I'm going
I have to say something. That lady does not look that old to me.
She was.
That's what they told.
She was.
She was old and crusty.
Yeah, and her husband was he was shirtless and really rotund and covered in Sailor Jerry tattoos.
Oh, you're
Covered. Yeah. Hi, Adrian.
Hello again.
Yeah.
Yay, we're back. All right, sweet. Okay, so Adrian, before we get into anything more important, I dug out a picture of you and I that people are going to laugh at. Are you ready?
Oh, no. Yeah, let's see it.
Okay, in case I didn't tell Adrian, if you click on where you see the photo of me getting beat up,
Yeah.
it'll be full on your screen so you can see.
Okay.
Are you ready for the picture I just dug out?
I am ready.
Let everyone get a current view of this. And here we go.
All right.
Ah.
That's great.
Wow. Wow. I remember that.
Yeah, I barely have any facial hair.
And I'm wearing a pink shirt.
Yeah,
Who's in front?
that's our friend Robin.
Robin, that's
That was her wedding. This is, if you see the hand holding the cigar over here, that's her husband's hand holding the cigar on the right side.
Oh, yeah. Okay. All right.
But yeah, that was no facial hair, barely. And I got earrings in.
And a suit.
Dude,
I
with a
know.
tie. What is happening? What is happening?
How is it that everybody else in that picture looks exactly the same except for you and me, Jason?
I know.
Right?
Right, they do.
Right?
No, Robin looks a lot different nowadays.
Robin looks more glorious than ever, but you and I,
Yeah, but the rest of the guys, they look all the
they
same.
look exactly the same. That's
Oh my God, that's great.
That's
All right, so let's ask the important question. So you're doing a podcast,
yes.
and you have sponsors. And let me shout out again. What up, Tanduay? Whoop, whoop.
Yes. Yay.
So, and I don't want nor expect you to release your financials, but you make some money from your sponsors.
Yes. Yes.
And is that making you enough to cover the bills?
Some months it's decent. Some months I need to supplement that. And so that's why I started exploring this whole eBay option that I've always wanted to do before. I never really had to worry about it before when I had my full-time corporate job. And truth be told, you know, I actually was selling way back in the early 2000s. I got on eBay in 1999, and for the first couple of years I was selling, but you know, it was not as a necessity. It was just something that I did for side money. And the main motivator on why I stopped was not that I didn't need the money, but you know, as a collector, there are things that you buy and sell to grow your collection. And I had regrets on a couple of things that I sold, and I thought, I don't want to sell anymore because I don't want to sell something that I'm going to regret selling, getting rid of in a year, And I never
was
really looked
it Tiki mugs that you regretted, or what?
Yeah, there were a couple Tiki mugs. Yeah. And some one-off stuff. Maybe craft school projects, that kind of stuff. That I thought, well, this doesn't really have any kind of pedigree, so I'm going to sell it. But in retrospect, that's what made it kind of cool, was that there were no other ones. It was the only one that existed. So. And I used eBay all the time just to buy stuff, because you find everything on eBay, right? And then only recently have I really started again, just the past couple months, really, maybe the past 2 months. So after taking your class, Jason.
Mm-hmm.
And not just my class.
Yeah, you Kim was there.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh.
So I have a funny story about that, because, and I've told this to Jason before, I think your viewers might find this interesting. When I was collecting, when I had my corporate job, I had a route that I'd follow home every day. It would hit about maybe 5 or 6 thrift stores. And I learned to, and I call it, quote unquote, power scan. And I could jump in there and I would power scan the shelves looking for Tiki stuff. I'd run through the racks real quick looking for Hawaiian shirts. And I could be in and out of a thrift store power scanning in 15 minutes, 15, 20 minutes. If there's nothing there, I'd jump in my car and head to the next one, because it'd make my drive home longer if it was every spot was 15, 20 minutes, right? And after taking the class, I thought, okay, I'm going to use everything I learned in this class, and I'm going to go to the Savers down the street. Got to the Savers at, I think they opened at 10 o'clock or 10:30. Got there right when they opened. And I took a cart, which I've never done before at a thrift store. And I started using the tools and notes that I took. And I thought, okay, I'll give myself a good hour and use the tools and all the knowledge that I learned, and let's see what I come up with. And then I'm going to go get lunch, thinking I'm going to walk out of there at 11:30. And it felt like an hour, right? I filled up my cart, walked out, and then I jumped in the car to go get lunch, and I looked at the clock, and it was 1:30 in the afternoon. I was in the and I thought, holy moly, but and just because I wasn't sure, and I still am I'm still learning, right? I'm still not sure the what ifs. So, I look at the tools that I have on my phone and try to make some educated guesses. But, I was calling Jason. I think I was calling him or texting him, sending him pictures. What do you think of this? What do you think of that? And, Jason was great. He was helping me out, but.
All right, so let's, even though you're moving a little slow, let's see what you got, because you did find a couple nice pieces yesterday or 2 days ago.
I did. So I actually have about, I don't know how much time you have, but I'm going to share with you what I have. So.
Sure, yeah. Oh, come on there. Come on, Internet. Be kind to us.
Right.
Am I freezing?
Nope.
Just go ahead and hold it slow and steady for a second, because your feet isn't the smoothest.
Okay. So I start with what I know. It's all Hawaiian or Tiki stuff. So I found this Hilo Hattie shirt. This is, it's made of a bark cloth material, and it mimics the traditional tapa cloth. This particular shirt still had the tags on it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And so, something like this, I picked this up for $5.49 at the Goodwill. I think that this one will probably go for maybe somewhere around $40 or $50. So I have to do some research on it, because I know that some prints sell more than others.
Yep.
And then I have also, again, more Hawaiian shirts. I've got a couple here. I'm going to hold both of them up. One of them's a Walter Clark. Lots of bright colors on there. Vintage shirt. Again, $5.49. This one, same thing. I'll probably put up somewhere around $40 or $50.
Oh, wow.
These are real popular with the Tiki people. And, a $50 Hawaiian shirt is actually kind of average. This one is a Kalaheo Hawaiian shirt. Also got this for $5.49. This brand, they actually put these, so these have World War II ships on them. Some of the prints that they have bombers or airplanes. So they like to mix the vintage military with the Hawaiian fabric. And so I have to do some research on this. I think these are going for somewhere around $40.
We sold one of those to Australia.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, we have another. I think we have 2 listed right now. We just found one the other day. I love those shirts.
Okay. In case someone wants to buy it just straight off you, what sizes have you been showing us?
Okay, so the first one, the Hilo Hattie shirt that still had the tag on it, that one was a 2X. And then the last 2 shirts that I showed, the Walter Clark that was white with the bright green, and this Hawaiian shirt with the wartime ships on it. Those both are extra large.
Nice.
And then I have a couple of more here. So this is another Hawaiian shirt, but this one's got Volkswagens on it.
Ooh.
And it's got vintage Volkswagen. So it's got the Carmen Ghia and the VW bus and the VW Bug.
That's great.
And I thought it was kind of neat that, you have the guys at the car shows that like to show off their old cars. And,
Oh yeah.
they also, it seems like the guys at the car shows, the older guys, all like to wear the Hawaiian shirts, right? So there's a little bit of a twofer there.
Size is that?
And then I was texting Jason yesterday because I was at a Goodwill, and I came across a couple of Dodgers items. This is a warm-up jacket.
Ah.
Is he frozen?
I paid $5 for this.
All right. So
Oh, you're frozen.
Yep.
Oh, did I?
no one's. We're all hearing it just fine. Oh, there it is.
Oh,
Don't move.
You see me?
Don't move. Let's see if the feet. I'm watching the feet. Let's see if it shows back up because right now you're just not there. So hold on a minute. There it is. Beautiful. All right. Look at that. How much did that cost, Adrian?
That was $5.
$5.
It's amazing.
$5. And I thought I can't lose. If I sell it for $10, it double my money. But I'm going to sell it for more than $10.
Oh yeah.
The problem that I'm finding researching the athletic stuff, there's so many jerseys out there, but all this stuff in here, all the tags, they're all genuine, right? They're all the Dodgers genuine stuff.
Okay.
Can you still see me?
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
This is another Dodgers. I think this is a warm-up jersey, and these are both extra large, by the way. So I don't know if they came in together, but they were on the same rack. They were $5 each.
Nice.
And then I found some most of the stuff that I'm finding is clothing because, like I said, I'm sticking with what I know. I found a couple of Western shirts with the Pendleton brand.
Oh wow.
What?
This is a Pendleton Western wool blazer.
Oh.
Oh, come on.
And I got,
Wow.
did I die again?
Nope. I see
No.
it.
$14.
Wow. We're all like, ooh.
Look
Yeah,
at us.
it looks
Wow.
brand new.
Even Bill behind me is going,
It's
ooh.
brand new.
Ah,
So I have to do the research on that. I'm thinking somewhere around $100.
Nice.
And then this one's really neat. This is a Roper Western shirt. This one's also brand new with the tags on it. And it's got the nice embroidered, the embroidered lines and the embroidered flowers and all of that.
that's great.
It's really neat. And I looked this up. This is also somewhere in maybe $85. So I got this one for $8 at the Goodwill.
Doing good, Grasshopper.
Okay, so good, right? And this is the one that excites me. So because of the thrifting board, I learned that these bamboo serving trays have some value to them. So
Yeah.
I got these for like $1.50 a piece.
Nice.
And we were just talking about those, weren't we? On the
Mhm.
floor?
Those are great.
And I got they had 14 of them. So I'm thinking that for the lot I could get somewhere around $100 for that.
Nice.
Wow.
Based on the research. So but that's all I have for now. I mean, like I don't have large piles yet. So and that's because I'm not really as knowledgeable as I'd like to be. I'm kind of learning along the way, I'm paying a lot of attention to the thrifting board.
Yes.
And I've been watching the previous episodes of your thrift hauls, so to learn from that. So
Did you find all these things that you showed us in one thrift store? You were in one?
no, I found these probably over 3 different stores.
Okay. Now you did great. Those are great.
Thank you.
So Adrian does have some sales, but he hasn't listed any of his thrifted goodies yet, so to speak.
No, this stuff I just got, so I haven't listed these. Yeah.
All right, but we're going to talk about, because he is selling some stuff, And I always say, if you're new to this, at least start in what you know the best. And of course, what does Adrian and I know? Tiki crap. Tiki treasures, not crap.
Yeah.
So this is the Tiki tea, which is pretty much ground zero for, if you're a Tiki fan at all, you've got to drink at Tiki tea. The Raised Mistake is the best cocktail, bar none.
Yeah, it's my favorite too.
And so were you selling this for them,
No.
or did you buy this and then flip it?
No, so the Tiki Tea is a sponsor on the podcast, and so they provide me with merch to use for revenue source. However I want to use it. So if I want to sell raffle tickets and use them as prizes, or if I want to throw them on eBay, it's all up to me. And so this is let me see what we're looking at here. So this is something that, this was one of their pullover hoodies that they were selling these for their 55th anniversary, which was 2 years ago. And their 57th just passed last month. And so I kind of timed it I posted it so that it was at the time that they were celebrating their 57th, for anybody that kind of thought, I wonder if there's anything left from the 55th, because they only print special stuff for the 50th, 55th, that like round numbers like that, right? 45th, 40th, 35th, 30th. And I got lucky on that one. I think that there were two people that were maybe, trying to outbid each other. And, that was something, I think it was $50 in the bar, and I got $305 for it on eBay.
Wow.
Yeah, Bill passed out behind me.
All right.
Is he? I'm telling you, something's in that rum tonight.
I do want to offer
with you guys.
I do want to offer one tip on this one, Adrian.
Okay.
I love using the black background for my lighter and whiter and light gray and light blue stuff. But because this mug is black on the inside,
okay,
it kind of got lost. Now, most of us are watching on decent sized monitors. You got to think about the customer on a iPhone 5S.
Okay.
Like Bill. Bill will be like, I can't tell where the mug ends and the background begins. So you always got to make sure there's a distinctive cutoff. And so this one, although the mug looks good, the inside kind of blends to the back. Just a little.
Okay. Good to know. Good advice taken. So that one, Trader Sam's, they mark these mugs, first edition, second edition. They change the glazes on them all the time. And, just to get my feet wet, I thought, okay, again, starting with something that I know, let me go through my collection and see where I've got some doubles. That was one of my doubles. I thought I'd throw it up there and see what it brings. Something that Jason likes to say is set it high and let it fly. So I thought, well, let me set that one high and see what happens. And reading the thrifting board, there were people that were asking, do you think this is too high, or should I lower the price? There's something that someone said that resonated with me. They said, leave it at that price for at least a month. You can always put it on sale.
That's right.
So, yeah. So I thought, okay, so let me give it a shot. And I think that guy sold in, less than a week. So
I was going to say too, you don't need punctuation in your title. I see an asterisk in there. People don't search for asterisk. So you want, because that may give you space for something else, but it's a great
right. And you know what? I think I used that asterisk because I had one space left, and yeah.
Hey.
And so I threw that in there just to kind of give it a little
dot.
Yeah.
And then you sold, apparently it was Rum Barrel Week because you sold this Rum Barrel. Now, see, this one's white inside and out, Adrian. This looks great on the black.
Okay, now, thank you. So now the reason why I listed this was I coincided this with the closure of Don the Beachcomber in Huntington Beach.
You're so smart.
So when they closed, I thought, okay, so when they close, people are going to be looking for their stuff. So this is the very first Rum Barrel that they issued there when they first opened. And so they were selling these Rum Barrels in the bar, but they were selling the ones that they currently had in stock. And so that by that time, it was probably the 6th, 7th, or 8th production. This particular mug, this glaze hadn't been produced in 8 years. So so I waited for the week after they closed before I put that up. So
all right, so wait, let me ask you something real quick because I noticed something between the two Rum Barrels. You ready?
Yeah.
All right, so on this one to show the bottom, you needed to get your hand in the photo.
Oh yeah.
And on this one, you didn't.
Yeah, I knew I was gonna get called out for that.
There's no need for your hand ever to be in a photo, ever.
It's a nice hand.
Thank
Your
you.
hands are very cute, sir.
I like them.
No, you know what? I knew I was gonna get called out for that because I know that. I've heard you say that before.
Good student.
Okay, so you have how many Tiki mugs do you have?
My collection is over 1,000.
Wow. And do you have a Holy Grail?
Jason and I met early on, so that's why our collections are very much like they are.
Do you have one that you're searching for? What's your Holy Grail?
I have quite a few, but that's a great question. The thing is that I've made peace with myself that I'll never have everything. So
Screw that! I want it all.
But if you could have one, what's on the list?
If I were a completist, I would. Well, Jason's got a couple things that I'd like to have. So
Well, we can make that happen.
he's got the
I take things from him.
Send me a list.
he's got the severed head. I've got a reproduction of the severed head. He's got a real one.
I just saw that.
And then he's got a tiki bob with the blue Hawaii on it. And I've got a regular tiki bob. So those are a couple that I'd like to have. Yeah. And then there's some stuff from Steve Crane. I don't believe it or not, I don't have any of the like the bird bowl or the
What?
tiki, the Aztec. I don't have any of those. So
I think you got a good mug there, though, you want to share with us.
this one here.
Uh-oh, everyone's frozen now.
Am I frozen?
Yep, you're frozen. Jason's frozen.
I think just to you.
Yeah. Well,
I see you guys. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we hear you. So hold it up and hold it steady, and hopefully it'll show up.
Everyone's moving except the-
Okay. Well, tell me when you see it.
All right,
We're seeing it. Okay,
there we
Can
go.
you see it?
Ooh.
wow.
Bam! Don't
So
move.
That is cool.
All right. This mug is from the Aloha Hut. This is actually one of the more rare vintage mugs that a lot of collectors seek. This is not in every collection. And I got this one for 75 cents thrifted. And the reason why I got this one for 75 cents is because I found 4 of them for $3.
You dick.
Oh my God! Did
Yeah.
you really?
But this was way back. It was at least 15 years ago. And at the time I was still selling stuff on eBay. So the other 3 went on eBay, and I think they sold for around 150 to 175 a piece.
Wow.
But I kept one for myself. So.
And how old is that?
Well, this is a vintage mug, so I've had this one for about 15 years, but the restaurant this mug probably came from there about 50 years ago.
Wow, that's
Does it have the little sticker on the bottom?
I'm sorry?
What's the mug called? Oh, sorry.
It's called the Aloha Hut. It says Aloha Hut on the front,
I'll find one of those.
on the
It's
base.
really pretty. I love the color.
Yeah, that's a nice.
Yeah, this is a
Uh-huh.
popular color with the vintage mugs, this green glaze.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
So this one was made by a company called Otagiri Manufacturing Company. It's a company out of Japan, and they were a very popular manufacturer of restaurant ceramics in the mid-century.
Mm-hmm.
So we did have one more score, and the score is Adrian's own mug, but in a different version. So here I have the brown version. Debbie, hold yours up. I'll put you on cam. Debbie's got the white, and Adrian sold like this kind of green version.
I
Okay,
love
so,
that.
well, first of all, this mug is different from the one you guys have. This is actually with the Royal Hawaiian as a.
Oh yeah, it's got boobs.
So this particular mug.
Why
So
don't I have one of those? What?
so this one, like I hung on to this one just because when this mug was produced, I wasn't expecting to get this color, and when the mugs were delivered to the restaurant, these showed up, as kind of a surprise. And so I thought, okay, well, I got to put one of these aside. So I put that aside specifically knowing that after this was sold out, I was going to throw it on eBay. And, like it's got the signatures on there. I try to take a picture of us signing it just for authenticity. I don't know how much that makes a difference, but I thought it'd be better to have the picture in there of us signing them. So and then this picture that you're showing from the auction of the carved tiki is the tiki that it's based from. And so threw that on eBay, and again,
That is
set it high.
I love that.
Oh, that's
And
gorgeous.
I just thought, well, what the heck, like I can always put it on sale, right? And I got a bite. So
Good job.
And then last, I wanted to share that Stacy just ran real quick and took a couple pictures of the art that hangs around our house. Here is one of them.
there you go.
That was painted by Adrian.
Nice.
Priceless.
Wow.
And then here's another one painted by Adrian.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
And even more.
Adrian, we need to have an arts and crafts day.
Yeah, that'd be fun. Let's do that.
I love doing that.
Those, Jace.
Yeah, those are all 2004.
Yeah, those are way back in the day.
Adrian right there.
That's great. I love that.
I still remember the story of the purple one. When Jason and Stacy walked by my booth and they were looking at some of the art that was there, and Stacy picked that one up and she asked for the price, and I gave her the price, and then she put it back down. And then at the end of the day, like, I had a few pieces left over, and I thought, I'm going to go have fun and go to the room parties and see my friends. And that was on top of the stack. So I took that and I walked it over to Stacy and I said, I saw you looking at this earlier, so take it home. So
Really?
yeah, so I'm glad that it's still up there.
It's been hanging in our house ever since.
It's beautiful.
Thank you.
And I think Adrian can attest to this. When you have a large collection like we both have, sometimes things got to go because we get up still, and some things will always stay. And so Adrian's personal art will always stay.
Thank you. That's an honor, Jason. Thank you.
All right, welcome.
And that's where I am right now too. Like, so with again, just trying to get my feet wet again with eBay. I'm doing the same thing, right? You got to rotate stuff out if you want to rotate stuff in. So I'm going through my collection. I'm thinking, okay, let me pull some of these things that I'm not really attached to that have some value, and let's see what I can get for them. So
That's great.
So look, tonight, if you take nothing else away from tonight's show, if you lose the job you're having and you're not loving it anyway, try and find something that you want to do, because although it's not making Adrian rich yet, you never know where it will lead. Hey, look, I'm the Tiki guy. I'm the rum guy. Somehow I don't have a rum sponsorship, but Adrian does. So you never know what cool shit's going to come your way when you say, look, I'm going to do the passion project I've always wanted to do. But, okay, I'm not making a ton yet. I'm going to go check out eBay. I'm going to start making some cheddar on eBay. So, you got to have your hustles. You got to figure out what you want to do. I love doing this show. I love doing my mom's show. I love working the thrifting board and the Secret Beach and all that stuff. And so part of that is me making money, but part of that is my passion project because I enjoy it. I enjoy when I watch, sometimes in person and sometimes virtual, light bulbs go off. I saw it in Adrian's head. I've seen it with Debbie. I've seen it with Kim. And to me, that's fun because I love just taking what I've got and giving it to other people because it's quite a bit of fun. Now, Adrian and I are going to be doing some things together. So we're kind of sponsoring each other's show. I have a new YouTube show called Jason's Tiki Adventures. Adrian's got Inside the Desert Oasis Room. And at Tiki Oasis, the granddaddy, the biggest Tiki event of the year, we're going to grab one of the bigger players in the Tiki world, and we're going to start a live show from the event on my YouTube channel. And then we're going to end it about midway. And then you're going to check out Adrian's podcast the following week to see how it ends. So
there you go.
Do a little cross thing. We're going to leave and we'll figure out. We won't just like meander. We'll figure out what the cliffhanger is going to be. And then I pulled out my gun. Oh, you're going to have to tune in for the rest of that. That kind of thing. So that's what we're going to do. So stay tuned for, subscribe to Adrian on podcasts, subscribe to my channel. There's going to be a lot of fun, and we're going to be definitely doing things together and doing some cross promotions and cross shows. So be a lot of fun. So Adrian, thanks for coming on tonight. Thanks for
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
It's been a great run, and it's fun that we're doing things together like this. It's really neat.
I'm enjoying it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm and you already know this, Jason. I've got you on as a permanent sponsor on my podcast. So I've got a commercial playing for you on every episode. So
nice.
Yeah, so I'm pushing people to your channel too. But while I've got you on, I need some piece of art that I could put on my social media. So send that to me.
Yeah. I'll get it right over to you. Absolutely. So yeah, everyone down below here in the description, you'll see the Inside the Desert Oasis Room link to the website. Head over there, get subscribed to the podcast, pop it in your ears and go thrifting, and you'll be thoroughly entertained. And I meant to say this earlier, Adrian, we have friends that we've all had for like 15, 16, 17 years.
Yeah.
And I hear them on your podcast. I'm like, I never heard that story.
Mhm.
Our
Right,
friend Denny is the main MC to all our events. He plays the ukulele. And I heard a story about how he played for U2 in a pub in Ireland. I'm like, how have I never heard that story?
So great.
If
Right?
you get to play at Bono's pub for him and the rest of the band, you think you tell everyone that damn story.
You know, it's funny that you say that because the thing that I've taken most from the podcast is that it's the only time that I really get to sit down and hang out with my friends and really learn about my friends, right? How we all have busy lives, and for an hour, we get to sit down and learn about each other. So, you know, like you said, you learn something about your friends that you've known for almost 2 decades, and I'm doing that every week. So I'm having a lot of fun with it.
So great.
Yeah.
All right, so thank you, Adrian. Thank Kim live via satellite from
Woo!
LA.
The armpit of the 405 and the 10 freeway.
But Kim will be here tomorrow. Woo woo!
Yep.
Debbie, I want to thank you for being the co-host, the co-host, and being the producer. And I want to thank. Why'd it go blurry? There it is. Bill, lean over there. There we go. Our live studio audience. Yay! All right. So, real quick, and I'll let everyone go for the evening. I think Mom and I are going to do a Monday afternoon, Memorial Day, selling past your expiration date, being Thrifty over 50. And this whole audience will be here again. I know some of you are going to be. I know some of you are going to be at cookouts and whatever. We can't do it Sunday because I'm throwing a party. But I think we're going to do it Monday afternoon before the puck drops on the Golden Knights game. So I get it if you can't tune in live on Monday, but just watch after the fact. Mom had a score thanks to Kim's knowledge and Kim's webinar on the Secret Beach. That is one of her best in a long time.
So excited.
There's the tease for the Monday episode of Self-Past Expiration Date being Thrifty over 50.
Did she pay 25 cents for it?
She didn't pay much. She did not pay much. So you got to tune in to find out. And with that, I will say good night. Thank you all, and we'll see you next Thursday on Thrifty Business. Bye, everybody.
Bye.